Hey guys, I am Shomo, and today I am going to discuss about some sort of like basic structure and basic ideas of GitHubs, so that you can feel very easy to work with it. Okay. Now to do that, I am trying to make it easy to understand for you. That's why like I make my two computers. So I am working on my iMac now, and I will also use my laptop as a second like student like you. So one of my iMac is going to be one student, and the laptop will be other student, and then we will make two branches and then try to merge these two branches in the main branch. And also like I am going to use my iPad to give you some sort of information. So let me share my screen, and then like I will discuss like what I am going to actually teach today. Okay. So, okay. Okay. So we will learn basics of GitHub. So I think this video is going to be a three-part video. So in first part, we will set up the GitHub with gitignore, so that your project will be updated properly on your branches and on your repository on GitHub. Second, we will learn about branch and merge. So as I said, like I am working with my iMac as one, say, suppose like student A, and my laptop as student B. So I am thinking like student A will be one branch and student B will one branch along with the main branch. So there will be three branches. Okay. And probably in the third video, like I don't know, maybe in the third video we'll learn about conflicts if it is possible. But my main target is to teach you about the first part and the second part today, and then like we can talk about conflicts if it is possible. Okay, so this is the whole idea. Let's get started. Okay, so to do that, first of all, let's go to GitHub and then create a new repository. Let's give it a name called test for class. Now I have will be created. Okay, so I specifically named this repository in this way because like what is the reason, you will learn it about later, but let it give it like in this way. So I want to make it as a private repository. I can add a readme file, and over here I will add a gitignore. Now you may know or may not know what gitignore is. Now gitignore is, say suppose like over here I have one project. Okay, so this project I am currently working on in Unity. So you already know, like whenever you will start Unity and like you create a folder in Unity using the Unity Hub, these many folders are automatically generated, right? But now all these folders are not necessary to be tracked on GitHub. Okay, so I only need, so in general, like if you think in that way, like if you want to get some sort of data from like what your friend has done in the past week or so in Unity, what do you actually need? You need the assets, you need the code, right? So those are some of the main stuff that you need to understand, like what they have done, what have been done by other people or by you also. And in your local computer, whenever you turn on Unity to run your project, Unity will generate so many stuffs like temporary files, package settings, this cs.projects things, that and then SLN like solutions, all those stuff. So you do not need to track or worry about those stuff. Those things are automatically generated on your local computer. So like the GitHub also want to know like what the actual things are needed, so that people can use those things, copy and paste them in their computer, and then Unity will do its stuff. And Unity will know like, okay, my friend has done those stuff, and then I need to take that. Okay, so git ignore is going to take responsibility of that. Okay, if that makes sense. So what git ignore is doing, git ignore will try to see, okay, is this cs proj is necessary or not. If it is not, no, I do not need to track that. If the cs proj is necessary, no, it is not necessary. The assets folder is necessary to be tracked, yes, so I am going to put that asset folder on my branch. If this solution is necessary, no. Library file is necessary to track, no. Logs necessary, no. So likewise, so over here, only the asset folder, the packages folder, project settings folder, and the user settings folder. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 folders are necessary only to be tracked on GitHub. And whenever you will download your project on anybody's computer, only these 4 folders are basically needed. Okay, the rest of the folders are basically temporary folders, as you can see. Whenever Unity will load up in your computer, then these folders will automatically be generated, and then Unity will start your project. But Unity need these 4 folders to be tracked, so to be updated. So that's why the git ignore is necessary, so that your project will not get messed up in GitHub. So many people of you are getting like problems with so many conflicts. Why? Because your git ignore may not be like set up properly or something like that, or may like as the time passes, you may have messed up with the the git ignore basically. So that's why I am going to give you an overview so that you can easily understand what git ignore does and how to use the GitHub in general. So I have done a lot of talking. Let's start working on it. Okay, so I have given the name of this repository as test for class. I have made it private, a private repository. So I am going to initialize this repository with a readme file, and I am going to add a git ignore. Now over there, GitHub will automatically ask you what type of git ignore is what you are willing to add. So over here, just come over here and then type Unity. Oops. And then GitHub will automatically give you a Unity. So you do not need to type all those stuff that git ignore will require to be put in git ignore. So GitHub will automatically give it for you. So now create repository. So a git ignore, like a repository is set up with a git ignore file and a readme file. Now, whatever git ignore, the basic git ignore, the default git ignore, the GitHub will give you, that is fine. Okay, fine. But if you like download it on your computer and then configure it, you will see that all of your files and folders will be automatically updated to GitHub. But what you wanted to see, you wanted to like untrack. So let me give you an example. So so you only wanted to track asset, project setting, package, and user settings, right? These 4 folders. You do not wanted to track all these files because these are not necessary to be tracked on GitHub. These folders can be automatically generated by Unity on anybody's computer. You do not need to worry about. You only need to worry about these 4 folders. But you may have question like, I have a git ignore file, but why it is not getting tracked? This is because over here, you have not specified in which particular folder your Unity project is. Now, what I am saying, so say suppose I am going to add a new project. So this project is going to add, say suppose like I'm going to add over here and then select folder and then new Unity project. Okay, create. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Okay, fine. I'm not going to work on this project now. So let it close. Okay, I only need to show you. Yeah. So Unity is going to create a main project folder under which all these files are going to be created, right? So basically, GitHub will create a gitignore file based on these folders, not this folder. What I am talking about, say, like let's see, library, temp, object, builds, logs, memory captures. You can see library, logs, packages, user settings, all these folders are there. So that means in gitignore file, the easiest way to teach is that if you need to actually track this whole folder, not the subfolders. So if you can track this whole folder, automatically by default all these subfolders and all those files will be tracked by GitHub, right? So we are going to do that right now. Okay, basically this is my idea. I can delete that folder because I'm not going to work on that. So now if I want to like edit this folder, what I can do, I can go to edit this file and then come over here and then simply type test for class. Why I am writing this? Because I am going to name the Unity project folder as test for class. Okay, so this is going to be the name of my project folder. Now be very much sure that whatever you are writing over here is going to be exactly same as whenever you are creating the project folder over here, because this is case sensitive. Case sensitive means like if you are typing a capital letter over here, so you need to type a capital letter over here. Okay, if you want to type a small letter, here also put small letter. If you want to give a space, here also space at the same place. Okay, otherwise it will not getting tracked. And I think some of you are getting this problem. At least in 2 of the groups I have seen this problem. So gitignore cannot understand like whether that folder needs to be tracked or not, and that's why it is getting uploaded to GitHub and it is getting missed for every one of you. Okay, so be sure to make this, like whatever you are going to name your project folder, the exact same thing is going to be put over here as well as in Unity Hub. Okay, now as you can see, like the for thing is colored in red. Why? This is because for is a keyword in any language, in most of the language, not any language, I don't know. I think in most of the computer like language like C, C#, Java, whatever, for is a keyword for a loop, and that's why it is colored. So we need to ignore, or we need to tell Git to ignore that, okay, for is not going to be a keyword. So for is going to be a part of the name of the folder. Okay, so that's why we are going to put a escape character. How can we do that? Like a simple backslash. So backslash, and then also if there is a space in the name of your folder, you need to escape it. Otherwise, like the gitignore or the any computer language will think that, okay, that is the end of the string. Okay, so that's why you need to put a backslash, which is talk, which is telling the gitignore or any of the computer language that, okay, this is not going to be the stop of this line. So there are something later on. So try to read through. Okay. So escape and then also escape, then escape, and that's all. And see, immediately the color of this thing has changed. That means gitignore can understand, okay, so for loop, for is not going to be a keyword, and we need to like go through the line again. So I need to copy and paste and then put it in front of all this. What happened? Come on. Come on, see. Yep. For these lines. Okay. So there was a problem in my computer, like I don't know why it was happening. So basically, see, I have like typed test for class in front of this library, temp, object, build, builds, logs, and temporal memory captures folder. So you basically need to do this stuff in front of all these folders as well, so that gitignore will understand, okay, I need to go to this temp test for class folder, and then I need to search all these folders, whether I need to track it or not. Okay, this is the basic idea. So I am doing that over here. And okay. Okay, so now this is basically the change of the default gitignore folder, gitignore file. But this is not going to be adequate enough. Why? Because you are going to work on Android APKs, right? So in Android APKs also, like you have to like write some extra files. Sorry, you do not, you want to untrack some extra files which do not need to track on GitHub. So you need to write some other like codes over here, other lines over here. So I am going to just, I have already made those things. So I'm going to copy and paste those stuff over here so that it will be easier for you to understand. Okay, so from 58 to 73, this part. So these are basically for Android. Those files are not going to be tracked by GitHub. So over here also, see, there are some assets. So I am going to add this thing in front of those asset folders also. And lastly, the 3 lines. So those people who are actually working on Mac, so Mac will by default create this .dstore and icon files in your Unity project folder. So the Windows user will not see these things, these 2 stuff, but Mac folders also cannot see this .dstore and icon files. But if you turn on hidden files in Mac, then you can see, like, in every folder under every file, this .dstore and the icon files will be there. Similarly, the VS Code, those people who are using VS Code but Visual Studio Code as opposed to Visual Studio, then they will, this .vs config will automatically generated inside your Unity project. So basically, we do not need to track those folders and files. So that's why we need to include these things inside the gitignore. So basically, from 58 to 73 lines, this portion is going to be some sort of new. So for you, you need to actually add it in your project folder every time. So this is basically the gitignore file, and you do not need to worry about from here after. So I can commit changes, and yeah, so my gitignore is ready to go now. So Up to this, I have only configured the gitignore file, but I have not created the Unity project folder. From now on, the whole video will be a little bit easier for you to understand. Till now, it was kind of like technical issues and basically some sort of code issues. If you are not familiar with code, it may get a little bit confusion for you guys, but from now on, it will be very easier for you, I hope, and I think it will be. So now, what I am going to do, I am going to like pull the whole repository into my computer, and my friend, which is basically my laptop, is also going to download another copy of the project folder. But to do that, any one of us need to create a Unity project and then push it to the main branch, right? So over here, you can see I am working on the main branch. So I am not going to create any branches till now. So let me create a like simple Unity project folder. That's all. This is my main goal. Okay, so how can I do that? So first of all, see, I am in the main project repository, and then I go to code, click on it, and then open with GitHub desktop. Okay, and then yeah, these like dialog box will pop up in front of you, and then over here you can choose like where you want to like clone your repository in your local computer. So I am going to clone this in my username test for class folder. So I am going to clone it, and then it will do its stuff. So the test for class is selected, and I can see there is no changes till now. And okay, so these two pushes I have done. So initial commit and update click no, fine. Now I am going to create a new project folder inside that repository. So what I am going to do, I am going to create a new project inside where I am going to go to my username and find the test for class folder and then select this folder. I am going to, and remember, like when I was showing you the gitignore stuff, I am going to create the name of the project as I gave it in the gitignore. So I gave it in this way. So just for check, go to gitignore test for class, capital T with like space inside test and for, then small f, then again space in between for and class, and small c. I am doing the exact same thing, capital T, small f, small c, and space between test and for, and space between for and class. Good. Now create. So let it go through its processes. Fine. Now see, test for class, test for class. This is basically the GitHub repository, and this is basically the main Unity project folder where I need to track all these files. So now see, there are how many folders? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folders. But we are not going to track this temporary folder, logs folder, all this stuff. Okay. So now go back to gitignore file, and all these files will be automatically getting tracked by GitHub desktop. So I can say like, okay, this is going to my initial commit. So I can say empty project, commit to main and push to origin. Now see, if you come back to test for class, the test for class will be generated. And then over here, see only 4 folders are there: assets, packages, project setting, user settings. Asset, packages, project setting, and user setting. All these 3 folders are not actually necessary to be tracked. These are basically generated by Unity for your own computer. Okay, so these 4 folders are basically the necessary things you need to have from other people as well as your own project. Okay, so that's why we need to set up the git ignore file in the specified way which I have shown you, and then you can download your friends updates as well as your updates easily from GitHub without messing it by any way. Okay, fine. So now I have created an empty project folder. Now say suppose I am going to add maybe a plane. Okay, and then I am going to save it, Command S, and then how can I update it? I think you may already know. So yeah, automatically if you click on the GitHub desktop, it can automatically track that the scene has been updated. So I can say like updated scene, commit to main, push to origin. That's all. That I can refresh it and I can see like the updated scene is there. And if you go there, the asset folder is updated. Inside asset, the scene is updated. Good, fine. Okay, so this is basically the fast part of the video up to this part. So that means we have like configured our GitHub with git ignore. We have created an empty project and we have like created a 3D object, that means a plane, and then updated it onto our main branch. But the problem is I, or basically you, are not going to work alone. So I am going to work with my friend over here, right? So basically, yeah, I am alone, and that's why this is going to be my friend. Okay, jokes apart. So my friend, so whenever I am going to work with my friend, I need to tell him or her that, okay, I have created a project folder on GitHub. So basically you need to download that project folder. Okay. So first of all, I am going to do that. Okay, so this is basically my friend's computer, my laptop. So I am connecting it with TeamViewer. I think you may know what TeamViewer is. Basically, TeamViewer is a software like kind of like Zoom, not exactly like Zoom. So by which you can like share screen with so many computers. This is basically it. So now I have told my friend like, okay, person B or student B on my MacBook Pro, I can say in that way. Okay, MacBook Pro, I have created the test for class project. So you can download it in your computer now. So now what MacBook Pro will do, MacBook Pro will go to GitHub, GitHub, come on, and then log into his or her GitHub account, and then go to test for class, and obviously like you need to actually give the permission to access the GitHub project folder to your friends until and unless they cannot get the info, obviously. And in my case, I am the only person, so it is easy to understand, like I can go to my project folder easily from any of the computers, right? So this is the project folder in my MacBook Pro. So over there also, he's going to do the same thing. So go to code, open with GitHub desktop. And over here, I am going to choose a folder. Maybe I am going to choose over here, like the same username, and test for class, select and clone. Now, what he will get the project with the plane. Why? Because that is the last update, right? Okay, let's see. So go to Unity Hub now, and then in your come on, Okay, in your friend's case, you do not need to create a new project, right? Because the project has been already created by me. Okay, your friend only need to add that project folder. He or she does not need to create a new project folder. So he or she need to add the project folder because the project folder is already created. So go to add and then go to your username and then I mean like where is your project is located. Now click on the test for class. Now remember, the actual project is this one, not this one. So this is basically the GitHub repository under which the main project folder along with the git ignore and readme file is there. Now you cannot see the git ignore in general because git ignore is a hidden file. If you turn on the hidden file in your like Windows or Mac, then only you can see the git ignore file. But in generally in Windows computer and in Mac computers, hidden files are basically hidden, and that's why it is named as hidden file. So you cannot see the git ignore file. So I can select the main Unity project folder where you can see like the test package, project setting, user setting, and then open. And here you can see like the test for class is shown. So I can select my version. Okay, now the interesting thing I need to show you. Okay, go to Macintosh HD users, test for class, test for class. Over here you can see my friend has got 4 projects, whereas in my case I have got how many folders? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 folders. Now if I run this project in Unity, let's see what is going to happen. See, automatically 7 folders are created. Can you understand now? I think you can. So these logs, temp, library folders are basically created by Unity whenever you will start running the Unity file. So these folders are not being tracked and they are not necessary to be tracked on GitHub. And that's why the git ignore file is there, so that you only need to track the required folders. That means these 4 folders. Okay. Come on, it is taking time. Okay. Now, in most cases, you will get a simple like blank screen, but you do not need to worry about, because go to scenes, and if you click on some sample scene, you will get back the original scene back in your friend's computer. Okay. So this is basically like how you can download the already like modified code or modified project from the GitHub to any computer. Okay. Now, so my friend and I, both of us have got the updated project folder in our computer. But the problem is I am going to update some part in the project. My friend is going to work on some other part in the project, and at some point of time, like say suppose like after 1 week or after 2 weeks, we are going to add those 2 parts in the main branch. So that's why the branching concepts are there. So we are not going to work on the same branch, because that will create a problem, because I don't know when he is going to work or she is going to work in the branch and when I am going to work. Maybe I am a nocturnal person and he or she is going to be a like day person, or maybe both of us are going to be nocturnal person. Now, like, and if both of us are going to push in the same branch at the same time, then there could be a problem, right? So that's why the concepts of branches are there. So I am going to work on my own branch. He or she is going to work on his or her own branch. And then after a certain point of time, maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 1 month also, I don't know, we are going to add those all the modifications from both the branches and copy and paste it to the main branch. This is the basic main idea. So how I am going to do that. Now to do that, go to your main project folder on the online GitHub version, click on this main branch and then like create a new branch. So in my case, what I have done, like I told you, I am working on an iMac and I am going to work on a MacBook Pro. So I will create iMac as one of my branch. So it says create a branch iMac from main. Yes. And also I am going to create MacBook Pro and create branch. Okay, great. Now, if you click on the GitHub desktop on my iMac, you can see, wow, why fetch origin, sorry, yeah. You need to actually fetch origin means you need to basically refresh your GitHub desktop. So I am currently working on my iMac. So I have fetched origin and then you can see like the two branches are there. So I am working on my iMac. So I am changing my iMac over here. Okay. Now in case of my MacBook Pro, similar thing, I am going to go to GitHub desktop, fetch origin, and then go to MacBook Pro. Oh, leave my changes on main, bring my changes. Yep. Okay, fine. So both of my versions are changed. Sorry, both my computers are configured with their own branches. So my MacBook Pro is on my MacBook Pro, my iMac is on my iMac. Fine, great. So now let's open the Unity on my iMac. So I am working on my iMac now. So let's create a 3D object cube and place it something like over here and then place it somewhere like over here and make it like 2 0.5 and 0. Okay, and then I will create a material something called blue. Okay, and then change its color to blue and then add the material on the cube and then save it. So what I have done, I have simply created a cube on my iMac. So go back to GitHub desktop and see the changes are tracked by GitHub. So I can say like updated cube on iMac. Commit to iMac, push origin. Okay. Go back to Google Chrome. Now, if I go to iMac, and you can see like updated cube on iMac. Now, if I go to main, this is not there, which is good. And if you go to MacBook Pro, it is not there. Because why? The iMac, like whoever is working in the iMac, he or she has updated his own branch. Okay, not anyone else. So now if the MacBook Pro, where is my team viewer here? Say suppose my MacBook Pro, this guy is also willing to create something. I can add a cube over here and then like I can go for -2 and 0.5. Okay, and then I can add a material called red. and then I can change the color to red and then add it onto the cube. Fine, save it. Go back to GitHub desktop and then add it. Updated cube on MacBook. Oops, Pro. MacBook Pro push origin. Okay, great. Now if I reload it, fine. And it is saying MacBook Pro had recent change pushes, iMac has recent pushes. So let's see MacBook Pro. Yep, updated Q1 MacBook Pro. And iMac already has updated Q1 iMac. And if you go back to main branch does not have anything, right? Fine. Now, if you want to see the effect, okay, go back to, say, suppose in my friend's computer, that means in my MacBook Pro, if I change to iMac and then click on reload, see what you can see, like what your friend has done on your computer. Now, if you go to your on the main branch and then again click on reload, you can see like the whatever is there inside main. Okay, go back to MacBook Pro and then reload. Yeah, you can come back to your own branch. Same thing, you can do it on your own computer also, like I am working on my iMac. So basically this is the idea of branching. Now you do not want to leave these like things, whatever you have done on like this on separate branches, right? Because at the end of the day, you want all these features which you and your friends have done needs to be there on a single project, right? So that means in this case, the changes on my iMac and the changes on my MacBook Pro needs to be go together and merged in on to the main branch, right? So to do that, only one of you need to do that. So in my case, maybe I can take the responsibility for merging, and then I can go to my GitHub desktop on my iMac. So right now I am working on my iMac. So I can go to the main branch, and then I know like my whatever I have done is working properly. Okay, so I need to push my changes to my main branch. That means I need to merge my changes to my main branch, to the main branch. So click on the main. So I have already changed my branches to the main branch, and then go to choose branch to merge into main. Click on that one. So which branch? So it will ask you like which branch you want to merge with main. So I want my iMac branch because I am working in iMac. So I want my iMac branch to merge with the main branch. So I can click on iMac, create a merge from it, push origin. Okay, so that means the main branch has already got the iMac branches update. Let's see. Click main branch. So this is main branch, and main branch has got the iMac branch. But there is also the MacBook Pro's branch, right? So you can do it from your iMac also. Also, you can do it through your MacBook also, like your friend. So if your friend wants to directly update his or her own branch to the main branch, he can do that. Or if you want to take the responsibility of merging everybody else's branch from your computer, you can do that because you have the capability, right? Because you can see like all the branches from here. But for sake of all the people in your group, I am going to show you like how can you or your friend go like update their own branch or merge their own branch from their computer to the main branch. So basic, you can think like the iMac is basically you, and like the MacBook Pro is basically your friend. So you have already merged your own branch with main branch. Now you have asked your friend like, okay, dude, merge your branch to the main branch. So I am on my MacBook Pro and I need to merge my MacBook Pro branch to the main branch. So what I need to do, I need to go back to main branch and then choose a branch to merge to main. Now, which branch I need to merge? MacBook Pro, create a merge from it and push to origin. And here comes the conflict. Why? Because my MacBook Pro is using a lower version of Unity. Okay, and my iMac is using a higher version of Unity. So what it is actually saying, fetch, and no, and then pull origin. Oh, basically your friend has already uploaded the his or her own branch. That means my iMac has already updated the branch before you push the branch, right? So that's why it asked you to fetch the origin first, and then you are going to push the origin, push to origin. So I'm going to push to origin. And I am done. Okay. Merge branch to main branch. So now let's see what is going to happen. Fetch origin. So I am right now on my iMac. So I have fetched the origin because the main branch is changed, right? And that's why I have fetched the origin. So it says like there are 2 updates on the main branch. So I'm going to pull origin. And if I click on this, reload, and I can see both of the things are there on my main branch. Okay, great. So now let's talk about conflict. I don't know whether I can show it to you or not, but let's do it. Okay, so again, I am going to go back to my iMac branch. Okay, reload, and then I am going to create a new cube folder. Say suppose like the empty white cube. Okay, and then save it. Go back to cube, and okay, and then is it going to be a good example? Okay, yeah, update conflict, commit to iMac, push to origin. So, and I think like it would be better if I push it to the main branch. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to like merge my iMac branch to the main branch, and yeah, there will be one conflicted file when merging iMac into main branch. Create merge conflict and see like if you have configured all those stuff properly in your computer, that means you have like configured the git ignore files properly, you will get conflicts like this, which can be easily solved by like opening in Visual Studio Code or whatever. But there could be some conflicts which is unsolvable, unresolvable. So those are kind of pathetic. And like if you follow these steps, you will not get those type of conflicts. If you get conflicts, you will get this type of conflicts, like which has some sort of like orange colors. Okay, so it says 10 conflicts. So let's see, open in, oh, what is saying. And if you click on this button, it is saying like use the modified file from iMac, use the modified file from main. And if it is like the 10 conflicts which it is saying, if it is saying like if the color is basically red color or something like that, that means you will not get, sometimes you will not get these options. You only need to click on the, like, well, maybe in your case the Visual Studio will be the option, and then you need to click on this one. So maybe I can go with the Visual Studio Code, and then okay, and then yeah, so basically it will ask you like which one do you want to update, the current one or the already version that is available on the main branch, you want to accept that change, or the current version which you are going to merge it from your iMac branch, that you want to update. So basically what I need to do, I want to update my current branch, I want to push my current branch, so whatever the updated version is there in the iMac branch, right? So I want the incoming changes. So accepted, accept incoming change, accept incoming change, incoming change, incoming change, incoming change. But in some cases, like you need to also accept current changes or accept both changes. But in some cases you can compare changes, but that is kind of like rare maybe. So in most cases you need to like choose accept incoming changes. So I am like saying that accept incoming changes, changes. Yeah, so I am done. I can save it, close it, and no conflicts remaining. Continue merge, push to origin. Done. So go back to Unity, refresh it, and you can see merge branch iMac into main branch. Fine. So reload. I am in the main branch here. So if I go to my friend's computer, so that means in my team viewer, and I am on the main branch in my friend's computer, that means MacBook Pro, I can fetch origin. It is saying pull origin, I will pull the origin, okay, and then click on it, reload. I can see the changes in the main branch. Okay, nice. But also like, yeah, so you want, if you want to see the MacBook Pro's branch also, so you actually need to update it. So I can do that from here. In the main branch, I need to continue my merge from the main branch. Okay, guys. So the problem was because I actually don't know what the problem was, but I guess like while working with the like cubes, even if the red cube was here, the material was detected by the, yeah, see, the material was detected by the branch, but somehow it was not getting detected by the GitHub, and that's why like everything was messed up. So that's why what I am going to do is like I am on the MacBook Pro branch. Okay, I'm on the MacBook Pro branch, and I'm going to simply create a 3D object cube. Okay, and then I'm going to give -2 over here, and then 0.5, and then add this red cube onto the top of the cube. So this is my MacBook Pro branch, and by the way, I have already taken a pull from the main branch, and that's why everything is there. So this is the MacBook Pro branch. So update 4 MacBook Pro push origin, and I am going to change it to the main branch. So merge into the main branch from the MacBook Pro, create a merge commit, push origin, and then done. And I have got that on the main branch. So over here, so I am on the iMac. So in the iMac branch, you can see only the blue cube and the white cube. Now, if I go here and fetch origin on the main branch, it is saying 13 commits. So I will like pull origin, reload it, and I will get all the cubes over here. So basically in this way, you can like work with it, but conflicts, yeah, conflicts are a little bit tough to handle. So as you can see, like I have got some problems also, which is kind of like, if as you like work with it, you can understand, but most of the time if you get ignored and all those stuff are like worked properly, and in that way you will not get this type of conflicts. But in my case, why I have got conflict, because I have used the very basic structures, cube, cube1, cube2, and basically I have also placed those stuff almost at the same place, kind of like that. So that's why I have got the conflicts. So in your case, I think you will not get more conflicts because you will be using various assets on your projects, and like you can place all your assets various different places, and by doing that I hope you will not get conflicts. But if you do get this type of conflicts, you can talk to me, like, or the professors, and then you are good to go. But I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope this video will help you a little bit. Thank you and enjoy coding. Bye.